In school, you take a lot of different subjects to improve your learning. Wow, Liz, we totally didn't already know that. It's not like we faced the horrors of school or anything. Yeah, that was pretty obvious, but there were a lot of subjects I did not like in school, and by a lot of subjects, I mean all of them. People sometimes ask me what my favorite subject is, and I respond with lunch, because I have an A+ at eating food and having a diet that's 90% sugar because, you know, I'm so healthy. Anyway, one subject I don't really like that much is science. Last year I took biology, and the only thing I remember from it is that we learned there are bugs in every single red dye except for red dye number 40, which is now the only red dye I eat. So yeah, you can be scarred with that information. Thanks, biology. This year, I'm taking chemistry, and chemistry has math. Therefore, chemistry sucks! Despite how much I hate science now, there was a time where I actually managed to enjoy the subject. Back in 4th grade, because that's how long ago it was when I actually somewhat liked science, I was learning about something absolutely mind-blowing and amazing. You're probably wondering, what is this wonderful thing you speak of? This wonderful thing is rocks. Because they rock. Hahaha. That's hilarious. You better be laughing right now. It sounds boring, but we were learning about interesting gemstones like rubies and emeralds and, you know, special rocks. Not the boring rocks that you see just lying on the ground every day of your life. The rocks that actually rock. Okay, I'm sorry. When we were learning about this, I was 9 at the time, I really wanted to find one of these gemstones. My science book said you could find them inside of other rocks. And I was sitting there thinking, we have a lot of rocks. Maybe there are diamonds just hiding inside of them. Yeah, that makes sense. I walked into my bedroom one day, which was also my sister's bedroom, and I saw something sitting on our dresser. And behold, it was a special gemstone rock. I was so excited. Possibly too excited. I turned to Ray and asked, "Where did you find this? Did you find this inside of a rock?" And she just goes, "Yeah," like the honest child she was. And I'm all like, "Ray, do you know what this is? You've just found a gemstone. You've just found something so valuable it could be worth thousands. You've uncovered something great, something legendary, something beyond the greatness that we can even understand." Okay, so maybe I didn't say all of that, but I did emphasize how important the gemstone was. After my speech about how amazing the rock was, I just said, "Can I have it?" You would think that after my speech on how valuable the rock was, my sister would respond with, "What? No, if this rock is important, it obviously belongs to someone of importance, such as myself. You think I'm gonna give you a rock worth thousands of dollars? You can't even have $2 without losing them. Plus, you're not worth thousands of dollars." But my sister's response was surprisingly just, "Sure, you can have it." I probably should have questioned this response, but I didn't, because I was just happy that I was now the proud owner of a precious gemstone that my sister for some odd reason did not even remotely care about. I told tons of people about this rock. Owning that rock made me feel like some important rich person, which is really sad that a rock can literally change how I felt about myself. I specifically remember this conversation I had with my brothers once. We were talking about owning valuable things or something like that, and I said, "Yeah, I don't own anything valuable, except, you know, that incredibly valuable gemstone I have. It could be worth millions of dollars, and I might be the slightest bit obsessed with it and tell everyone on the planet about its worth. But yeah, other than that, I don't really own anything valuable." So it's weird because there were so many kids who had things they were obsessed with, like video games and TV shows, and here I was like, "Yeah, I'm obsessed with a rock. It's worth more than your life." Of course, I never said that because innocent shy kids like me were restricted to only saying kind things 24/7. If I was an outgoing kid who had the guts to say what I felt, I probably would have shoved the rock into everyone's faces just so they'd have a close-up look at its glory and how I owned it. Wow, this makes me sound really conceited. This one time I went to a ladies event with my mom and I showed all of my mom's friends this rock and they thought it was the coolest thing ever. Or maybe they didn't care. Maybe they just pretended to be interested to keep my child self happy. But we're gonna say they thought it was cool. Almost everyone seemed to think it was cool. My brothers did, my parents did, I obviously did. But there was one person who didn't. That person being my sister. You see, over the following 2 years after finding the rock, I would talk about it to my sister on multiple occasions because of how obsessed I was with it, but she never showed even the slightest bit of interest. In fact, she seemed almost guilty when I talked about it. She didn't look like she wanted to talk about it. One day, I mentioned the rock again for like the millionth time, and note that this was 2 years after the whole rock thing started, and my sister looks at me and says, "Can I tell you something?" "Sure." "I didn't find the rock inside of another rock. It's not a gemstone." "What do you mean?" And that's when I heard the most heartbreaking and absolutely pathetic truth about how my sister found the rock. Here it is! Once upon a time, on one lovely day, my 7-year-old sister was at Lowe's with my dad, who's obsessed with Lowe's and might as well live there. Fun fact, while I'm recording this, my dad actually is at Lowe's right now, so yeah, there's some information that isn't even relevant to the story that I thought was kind of funny. Or maybe it's not, I don't know. Now, usually my sister's the smarter one who tries to show me how not to be an idiot who gets into stupid stuff that could have been avoided. Even when we were toddlers, it was like that. Because Ray was smart. But I guess even smart people have their days when they forget what being smart even is. Don't even try to understand her thought process in the story. I've already tried. And I've come to accept that sometimes people just think really weird things, or maybe they're not even thinking at all. But while Ray was walking through Lowe's, she thought, I need to get a souvenir. First problem with this. Usually you get souvenirs from stores or gift shops that are at, I don't know, important places in the world. We were at stickin' Lowe's. No offense to Lowe's or anything, I'm just saying. Ray happened to notice something. You know those fake fruits you put in bowls on tables to be decorative because apparently fruit is a really decorative thing? Well, Ray saw some fake grapes and she thought, that's it. I'll just pull off one of the squishy little grapes and steal it like the rebel I am, and that'll be my souvenir. Perfect. So that's what she did. She walked around the store with our dad, and she said the whole time she just squished the grape because it was so much fun. Honestly, of all the fun things in the world to do, squishing a little fake grape is probably the most enjoyable thing I could possibly think of. My question is, why did she only take one? If you're going to steal, why not steal the whole thing of grapes? Not encouraging stealing or anything, but you know, if you do steal, get the full package. Make stealing worth it. I never told you any of this. Anyway, at one point she dropped her grape and it rolled under something. This moment was absolutely heartbreaking, of course, because it meant she couldn't have her souvenir, which she so desperately needed. But no, she wasn't giving up. She thought, I am not leaving this store without stealing something for my souvenir. It is vitally important that I have a souvenir from Lowe's. And then she saw it. A fire pit. Full of rocks. So there in that moment, she stole one and had her souvenir. She took it home and placed it on the dresser. A little while later, I came in, and I asked her where she found it. Apparently, after hearing me explain how you could find gemstones inside of rocks, my sister thought, wow, saying I found it inside of a rock would sound a lot cooler than saying I stole it from Lowe's. I'll just lie about it. No harm done, it just makes my story better. So for 2 years, I told everyone that she found it in a rock, and had people believing it was a gemstone. Just a little side note, I don't know why she even wanted a souvenir from Lowe's if after all her hard work, she ended up giving it to me almost immediately after she got it. My sister didn't know I was going to tell everyone about the rock, I guess because she didn't think someone could possibly be so obsessed with a rock. But you know, she can't really judge me because she was obsessed with a grape. One little fake grape. But when I started telling people, she didn't want to tell me the truth because that would look stupid and I'd have to explain to people, oh, never mind, that's not a gemstone, it's a rock my sister stole from Lowe's. So she kept it a secret. After hearing about all of this, I wasn't happy. I had been crushed with the sad truth. I remember thinking things like, it would have been nice to know about this 2 years ago. I've literally been lying to everyone without even knowing it, and I feel like a horrible person. And I've been wasting my time obsessing over a rock from Lowe's. Come to that low point in my life. To that Lowe's point. Okay, that's too much of a stretch. That doesn't count. Okay, stick to the script. What happened after that? No one found out the truth because I didn't want to ruin my amazing story with the pathetic one my sister told me 2 years after she should have told me, and I lost the rock. I didn't care, and to be honest, I was hoping it would stay lost. I haven't come across it, thankfully, but no worries. We have a river, so if I do find the rock, I can just chuck it in there. So yeah, that's the story of how my sister lied to me, and how I actually believed I owned a gemstone for 2 years. Yeah, good times. Didn't this video rock? Okay, I need to stop. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed another stupid moment of life. Actually, it was mainly my sister this time, so that's a plus. And here are some fan art from some amazing people that did fan art. Thank you so much. And yeah, enjoy these wonderful pictures done by some wonderful artists, and yeah, yep, I never script my end card, that's why it's always just random talking. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you all in the next story video. Yeah, bye. Eat more tacos.